Yo, what's up? Today we're gonna recap the movie Rebel Moon Part 2. It begins with a short summary of what was the first part. Korra, the main character, left the planet in which she was hiding to get help to defeat the Admiral Nabo. He's a very bad guy. Korra gathered several warriors, including General Titus, and at the end, she managed to take down the Admiral's life, throwing him towards the rocks. Korra then returned with her group to the planet Velt. She thought they were victorious, but she was wrong. We see that in one of the Mother Emperor's ships, the Admiral had been resurrected by a high-tech medicine. He then told his commander Cassius that the Scar Maker is still in Velt. They have to get there right now. At the same time in Velt, Korra, which in this case is the Scar Maker, arrived with her group and everyone was very happy. Most of the villagers, however, they didn't come to receive them. They were very embarrassed. That young soldier who rebelled against the Empire received the call. He was from Admiral Noble's ship, and he told them that everything was under control. That's a lie, of course. Commander Cassius then sent him to prepare the whole harvest, because they will arrive in 5 days to collect it. Korra told everyone that they needn't to be worried anymore, because she eliminated the Admiral. That was the case until the young soldier arrived to break the bad news. The commander of the Empire battleship will arrive in 5 days. He wants all the harvest. Korra is speechless. She eliminated the Admiral, so maybe the Empire wants only the grains. General Titus then gathers all the inhabitants and says they will have to do something for everyone. If they still have strength in their bodies, they will have to get together to work and do the entire harvest in just 3 days. They then will have to prepare their defenses and fight against the Empire. All these grains will be used as a shield against the Empire, and they have no other choice. During the night, we see that Korra had her first night of love. She then tells her lover why she is the most wanted criminal in the universe. It turns out that at the height of the time of the Empire's expansion, the king found out about his daughter's healing powers. Because of that, he gave up the battles, but it just so happens that the last of the great battleships remained ready, and the tradition demanded that the king went there and named it. But the king decided to put his daughter, the princess, to give the name. She decided to call the battleship the Peacemaker, meaning that the Empire wouldn't go into battles anymore. Back then, Korra was the princess' bodyguard, and her father demanded that she kill the princess. Then, during the ceremony to name the battleship, Belisarius revolted against the king. He eliminated both the king and the queen, and then he sent his daughter Korra to eliminate the princess. She had no other choice. The woman fired the shot and took the princess' life. Little did she know, Belisarius betrayed her. He told his soldiers to arrest her and put all the blame on her. With no other choice, Korra eliminated all the soldiers and was about to eliminate Belisarius too, but as he was her father, she didn't have enough courage and started to run away. She then went to Velt. She just didn't give herself up because of the princess' last words, which were, "I forgive you," which means if she had given up, those words would have been meaningless. In the next morning, everybody in the village started to harvest, and even the warriors are going to help them. They have to do this as fast as possible. In the meantime, Admiral Noble's treatment had finished, and he was ready to go to Velt and start hunting everybody in there. He wants to get the Scar Maker to Belisarius so he can get maybe some kind of promotion. While everybody is harvesting, we see some scenes with that assassin. They are trying to make her get close to that little boy, so she kinda shows her mother feelings, and we kinda pity her a little bit. That's just so the next scene that we're gonna see in a while gets a little more emotional. The battleship later contacted that young soldier to know the whereabouts of the other soldiers, but he told them that the other soldiers were working. That's why they never showed up. His words were enough so that Admiral Noble knew that he was lying. He is now helping the Scar Maker. Next morning, we see that the harvest was a little faster than they expected, so at night, everybody in the village started partying, and the young lady called Sam, she decided to make gifts to all the warriors. She wanted to thank them for everything they are doing for the village. She also gifted Korra just to thank for that help. During the night, General Titus started singing, but his words just had no meaning. Outside, the robot was enjoying the song while he stared at the moon. In the next day, General Titus wake up everybody up so they could help getting the harvest and mountain everything around the main house. The plan is to get all the women and children inside that building so the admiral won't kill them because he needs the grains. Right after that, Titus and Cora started to train all the people from the village. They needed to learn how to shoot to defend themselves. They also started to making many traps around the village, and some gathered around the Cora's ship in order to retrieve it because it's gonna be very useful during the battle. At night, the warriors get together to tell their stories. Titus fought against the Empire because Belisarius told him to kill everybody in the planet that didn't want to be part of the Empire. Because of that, Belisarius told his soldiers to kill every man that Titus commanded. That other lady used to be a slave for the Empire until the day that the Resistance invaded that place and set everybody free. Ever since then, she's been working against the Empire. The Japanese woman tells that she used to be a good person, but the Empire came and killed her children. She then decided to kill everybody in the Empire. In order to do that, she opened a vault which belonged to her ancestors. In that vault, there were 2 robotic arms. She then cut her arms off and used the robotic arms on its place. She was then ready for revenge. She swore to eliminate everybody in the Empire. The young prince went with his mother and his father to the Empire, but Belisarius killed his father and then sent his troops to eliminate everybody in his home country. The queen, his mother, wanted to lose her life in honor. She sacrificed herself, and then the prince had to run away just so he could keep the royal bloodline alive. Cora didn't want to reveal all her backstory in fear that the people would start hating on her because she killed the princess. General Titus says that before they start the combat, they have to try and convince the Empire to take the grains so they don't have to start a war. The next day, Cora hides her ship inside a waterfall. While one of the farmers was getting the traps ready, they saw the battleship arriving in the planet. Noble saw everything they were doing, and he realized that the grains were around that house to protect all the women and the children. This must have been one of Titus' plans. If they want to fight, the fight will go to them. He then sent all the battleships and all the tanks to kill everybody in the farm. When Admiral Noble touched the planet, Cora was there with her lover. She tries to offer the grains so they don't have to fight, but the Admiral wants her and offers a deal. If she gives herself up, he will not kill anybody and is not even going to take all the grains. Cora had no chance. She had to accept that deal. She then went to give a last hug to her lover, but he wanted to fight. He then shot the bell so everybody knew that the battle had to begin. One of the farmers got out of a hole and shot a missile in one of the ships. Cora then runs away with her lover, and with a horse they go to her ship. The very lucky admiral went down the hole and started killing all the farmers. His soldiers tried to escape with one of the ships, but the farmers exploded them, and soon the rest of the soldiers arrived to the location where the women and children were hiding. But the Japanese soldier was there to start killing them off. She's a very brave warrior, and also the farmers started to defend themselves. They had guns and were not giving up on the fight. Admiral Noble was eliminating many farmers. He wanted to get to one of the ships and get back to the main battleship, but one of the farmers saw what he was doing and decided to go and start a fight with him. Little did the farmer know that because of the high-tech medicine, the admiral now had super strength, and he easily beat the farmer down. He then pushed the man out of the ship and he lost his life. Cora and her lover were riding in her ship. They went with another 2 ships to try to get inside the main battleship. They used a smoke bomb to pretend that their ship was broken down and told the battleship that they had injured soldiers inside of it. The main battleship had no other choice. They put her ship on automatic control and sent them in. Titus and the prince were fighting the forces of the Empire, and the people from the farm also fought with everything they had. And we see that the Japanese assassin had one of her robotic arms removed from her body. The soldiers were starting to win against the farmers, but the assassin would never give up. Everybody in the village was trying to be killed as much as the soldiers, and one of the farmers decided to sacrifice himself to explode all the soldiers around him. The Japanese assassin eliminated almost all the soldiers, but one of them struck her with his blade. He was about to end her life, but then the young boy who befriended her came in running and stabbed the man. Seeing that the little boy was about to get murdered, the woman gathered all the strength remained in her body and stabbed the man, killing him instantly. The young boy then got close to her and gave her a hug. died, only to see while she fell and died on the floor. All the farmers around were very sad. Titus and the prince were there. They were killing all the soldiers they could, up to a point where the soldiers were no more, and they started shouting. But that was too early. Another tank with many other soldiers showed up and started shooting at them. The men could only hide for their lives. In this moment at the battleship, the medic soldiers were around Cora and her lover, but they were pretending and started killing all the soldiers. Cora is now going to get a lot of explosives and blow up the engine. Her lover has to get to their ship and wait for her arrival. The farmers were still fighting the big tank, but it was too powerful and were killing everybody. The young girl from the resistance decided she had to do something about it. At the same time, Cora got to the engine of the battleship. She then implanted all the explosives and was ready to blow everything up. The resistance girl managed to get close to the tank and used a rocket launcher to destroy it. Cora finally armored all the explosives and started to kill all the soldiers so she could run away. But while she was killing them, one of the soldiers gave a call to the admiral and told that a woman invaded the battleship. The admiral knows it has to be Cora, and this is a golden opportunity. She is inside the battleship and he can just take her to Belisarius to get his promotion. He then tells the commander to shoot down the village and kill everybody in there. The commander doesn't want to do that because the grains are going to get lost and they are also going to lose many soldiers, but the admiral doesn't care. They won't be needing the grains because if the soldiers lose their lives, they're not gonna have to feed them. The commander then gives the order to eliminate everybody in the village. Cora is still killing the soldiers. She wants to get back to her ship, and the admiral went with his bodyguard to look for her. In the village, the prince and the resistance girl were fighting off the soldiers. They then realized there were still one more tank and a lot of soldiers. They don't want to die, but if they die right now, they'll go happy because they helped the village. When all hope was lost, that robot appeared. He was there to save everybody and started killing all the soldiers. They couldn't pierce his armor, and he easily killed everybody. He then went to the tank, pushed its cannon away, and opened up the door. He entered and used the grenade to explode the tank from inside out. He jumped out of it, completely unscathed. The robot was tired of the war and decided to fight against the Empire. At that moment, Cora was still trying to get out of the battleship, and the cannons were aiming at the village. But Cora was found by the soldiers. She killed many of them and even killed one of the soldiers who had one of those swords that can cut anything. She grabbed that sword and kept on running. Unfortunately, the admiral appeared in front of her. She was about to get to her ship. The main battleship was ready to kill everybody, but the soldiers found Cora's explosives and had no time to react. They detonated and killed everybody. The battleship's shot missed the village and everybody was saved, but the main battleship started falling apart. Cora's lover shot and killed the admiral's bodyguard, but the admiral managed to shoot him back. Cora then proceeded to battle the admiral. They both had one of those swords, and while they were falling down, the fight kept going on. Even being a lot stronger, the admiral is still really bad at combat and managed to lose his sword. Cora also looks like he's really bad at fighting. She couldn't kill him even though he had no swords. They fell to the bottom of the battleship where one of the swords were stuck. The admiral though decided to pretend the sword was not there and went for the killing with his own hands. That was his mistake. Cora's lover went from behind and stabbed him with the sword. She then cast him aside and closed the door. The admiral got stuck in there, and then Cora got the sword and removed his head. She and her lover then flew off the main battleship before it collapsed. When they landed, Cora discovered that her lover was barely alive. In his last words, he told her he loved her, and then he died. Many resistance ships then appeared to eliminate all the soldiers from the Empire. All the people from the farm were very happy. That was a really big victory. At night, they burned all the bodies. Cora then told everybody that all of what happened was her fault just because she killed the princess, but Titus then reveals a big mystery. It so happens that the princess is still alive, but nobody knows where she is. If they really wanna save the universe, they're gonna have to find her. Cora says she is going to find the princess, and the resistance leader offers her help. Even the robot says he's going to help because he only serves the royal bloodline. The third movie will be about finding the princess. Thanks for watching.